Obviously a bit overweight. What's his background in rugby league?
I played all my junior football there, and then in 1977 I moved up to Townsville and I played for 2 years up there. And then I missed out in 1979 for a season, and I come down here. I played Metropolitan League for Natives last year and made a move to Redcliffe this year.
Abbott, Oliphant. Dummy to Close. Back to Beetson. The pass is a bad one. Leis. Backs. Stumbling through a break. Caught in an ankle tap by Daryl Higgs. Close. Malone. Ooh, lovely tackle again by Higgs. He's still going though. This big fella's almost impossible to bring down the first time. You have to get a couple of men onto him. Abbott, Oliphant, Beetson. That's Ty. Good pass. Back to Holmes, then to Close, and Close has struggled out of the tackle of Reardon. And there's the first Redcliffe try in the 13th minute of the game. And what a good team try.
Gee, that was a good try. And South's defenders were always in position to make the tackle. And if we watch this on replay, they're just strewn after the Redcliffe attack goes by. There's Billy Johnson going down. Ash Lumbey tries to take the defence. Good work here to pop the bars. There goes another 3 South defenders on the ground. They're just left lying in the wake of the Redcliffe attack, and Chris Close showing his great strength to surge across the line, and then good awareness to realise that there's no defence anywhere near him then, and comes around to put it right under the sticks.
Out to Malone. Close. He's lost it. Good tackle from Astill. And Spencer to play it for Souths. 10 metres out. Reardon. Billy Johnstone. There's a bit of space there for him too. Quick play of the ball. That's good football. Higgs. Adrian Higgs. Upended by Obst. 30 metres out. Sally. Harry. Astill. Seems to be 2 red jerseys to every white one.
Very seldom do we see Astill and Meninga actually playing together, and I wonder if Meninga's style, having been in the forwards for the last few weeks, has been upset slightly, and seldom have we seen a South backline movement that the ball has gone from one to the other.
The scrum won by Redcliffe, and Oliphant lucky not to knock on. It came off his boot. Malone. Good defence by Bruce Harry, and Billy Ardress underneath. Cherry.
South waiting for Redcliffe to run to them. An easy 5 metres gained there by Cherry by just standing up from the dummy half and having a bit of a stroll.
Oliphant, a dummy to Obst, out wide to Vic Ty. Good tackle made by Daryl Higgs. And Beetson on the inside. Well tackled by Higgs again. Knocked on by Abbott. South's ball, Phelan. Meninga out wide. That's the way to bring down the big fellow, although he wasn't held. Peter Leis the tackle.
And Arthur Beetson still down, suffering the effects of that big tackle there from Higgs. And he was hit heavily just as he turned to offload the ball, and right into the rib cage, I think it was, and certainly at the least badly winded.
Meanwhile, plays on the halfway line. Lumbey, Johnston, Sally. The run around by Johnston. He's found Ardress, and Beetson's on his feet, trudging back. 36 years of age, it gets pretty hard. And South Astill has broken through. The fullback to beat, lobs the pass to Thompson, and there's the first try for Souths coming up. Good team ride, but full marks to Bruce Astill for making the split.
Yeah, great work, Astill, because he was at top pace, and I mean, he was really flying. He took the ball going flat out. Good ball here to put Astill away. A quick short pass. There goes Astill through the gap. Knows that the support's coming up. Thompson looming up on the outside there. Just make sure he's positioning him right. Defence coming across in backs, and it's good work here from Backs knocks him over. Out goes the ball to Thompson. Thompson in good position, and he strides around to score the try. Good work. And it was a good pass too from Harry to send Astill away. A nice short pass, and Thompson improving the angle slightly for Meninga, who's going to attempt to convert the try.
Well, that try gave you an idea of how fast Bruce Astill was moving as he went past Arthur Beetson. There's the kick from Meninga. It's a good one too. And the score's a level 5-all and 6 minutes till half-time. So it's back to even Stevens and Backs restarts, kicking into that glary sun. Spencer.
How often we see it when a side in full command such as Redcliffe have just been unable to take full advantage of the number of opportunities they've had. Souths have looked very ordinary and orthodox in their play, and all of a sudden right out of the blue Souths score a try, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more drive in the South side now, because that's just the incentive they needed. They know they can score tries against Redcliffe, and I think we're going to see a rejuvenated Southern Suburbs.
It's Harry. He's had a big game so far, young Bruce Harry, as has Ashley Malone, the two young 5'8s. Higgs. Daryl Higgs has lost the ball. Sully's knocked it on. That'll be a scrum.
Interesting there. Once Souths had lost the ball actually hit Eddie Ward, but if it isn't actually affecting the play, a scrum doesn't automatically pack.
Well, Arthur Beetson's got a cut eye. He's been winded. And the game's not even half over yet. Harry. He'll know he's been in a match by the end of this one. Lumbey. Wrapped up by Ash Malone. And underneath was Chris Holmes. It's Adrian Higgs. Johnson. Idris, Meninga, Harry. He's found Spencer, and Beetson across with a crusher.
Well read there from Beetson. Just held his tackle back to see what Harry was going to do, and then just picked Spencer out and took him straight out of play.
So the scrum packing down, 26 metres out. Looking at the statistics of the game so far. The error count, Redcliffe 8, South 6. The scrums, Redcliffe 8, South 7. And the penalties, 3-all. Watch the referee taps the halfback on the behind, which is something the Queensland referees have only just adopted. Sydney referees have been doing it all season. It's a good idea for the halfback to have that indication as to when to put the ball in. Backs or Benson, the winger. Cherry, Oliphant. Obst on the burst. He's found a runner in Holmes, but he's well tackled. Just over halfway by Lumbey. Oliphant. Beetson. A long pass to Chris Holmes. And again, Lumbey's there. One left. Obst with the kick. It's long. And it bounces well. Yes, it's into touch on the bounce. And Oliphant's in the hands of the trainer, just behind play. A bit hard to tell what's wrong with Greg Oliphant. He's running back to join his teammates now. Souths have won the strike, only just getting the ball. That's the superior weight of the Redcliffe pack, twisting them round and pushing them down. But they've got it. Higgs, or Spencer it is, Beetson the tackler. Thompson. Oh, weak tackle by Benson. Let him go. Lumbey. Holmes taking him high. Not marked, so he runs another 5 or 6 metres. Last tackle. Back to Meninga. Under pressure from Vic Ty, but gets his kick away, and that's a mighty punt. Backs. Tackled by Harry, got it back to Leis. Hasn't got the pace to beat Bruce Astill.
Dangerous pass there from Steve Backs. Peter Leis wasn't necessarily going to gain any great advantage, and Souths pouring through, and no one at all at home for Redcliffe if the pass had gone astray.
Backs playing it back. Obst, Oliphant, Malone. It's knocked on, so we'll have the scrum.
Could be a very important scrum, this one too, to the outcome of the match, with the scores 5-all and only a minute to go.
And it's gone straight through. You saw neither hooker actually struck for it. Bob Abbott having a bit of trouble getting his head in. Billy Johnston's got a better look at the ball, but yes, Johnston gets it. Kick ahead by Harry. The set move on here as the wingers flashing through in Thompson. And there's a chance. No try. Well, that was touch and go. Good work from Souths, reading the play well, and good work, good little kick from Harry. The ball just rolling nicely for Souths into the in-goal area, and could have been a try. And of course, no chance there of Redcliffe being offside in their in-goal area. Obviously, no offside in your in-goal area. Malone's kick. Harry might have a shot for a field goal here. He has, and it's not a bad-looking kick. Yes. Well, how about that? Right on the strike of half-time, and Bruce Harry, using all the skills of the game, has notched a one-pointer to give Souths a lead of 6-5. Well, it couldn't be much closer, could it? The score is 6-5, the scrums are 9-all, the penalties are 3-all, and the error count, I suppose, is an indication that Redcliffe have made a few more errors, although I thought early in the game they were playing a little bit better. To my mind, Souths were a beaten side 20 minutes into the game. Then suddenly something clicked and Astill made the break and they scored the try, and they've been really in good form since then.
Right, you know, Redcliffe just looked in complete control. They were backing up well, but they just weren't getting close enough to the try line to score the tries. They scored one good try, of course, but the other breaks that they've made, they've been unable to really capitalise on those breaks and get across from tries. The try by Souths completely against the run of play, and the Souths players now will get a bit of a psychological boost from that, whereas I'm sure that Beetson now is going to give his players a bit of a blast at half-time, because really they haven't got the points on the board that their play deserves. Players that have really impressed, Chris Close has been busting Souths at will, and his opposing centre Mal Meninga has been doing the same, so you can slot them straight into the State of Origin side. Oliphant's organised well. The full Redcliffe back row, I think, has backed up particularly well the half breaks from Oliphant and Beetson, and of course Bruce Harry showed us that he's got some great little skills and a very valuable player for Souths at this stage. If Souths are going to win it, they're going to need Harry to provide that variety. I don't think they're going to keep that variety going. I think Redcliffe, with those few breaks, are going to capitalise and run out winners in the second half.
No changes in the second half as Bax restarts, kicking it down to Spencer. And Ken Spencer will play just outside his quarter. I think Redcliffe might be inclined to throw it a bit wider in this half. You saw Beetson and Oliphant turning it inside a lot in that first half, and they seem, to my mind, to be wasting close out in the centres, who is doing so well. Let's see what happens. Lumbie. Harry. Oh, good tackle. It was Tony Obst. Meninga. Beetson coming in onto him. He gets his kick away. It's Bax. Astill lining him up. Caught by Higgs and Johnston. Abbott. You probably heard that one. You're waiting for a cab, Artie. Benson. Ty. Vic Ty, formerly a winger. Great success in the second row for the Dolphins. Oliphant, Malone, Close. That's Bax. Leis. Peter Leis, only 15 games short of his 300 games. One tackle to go. Tony Obst took it well, putting it high. Spencer under pressure. Oh, well taken. Completely airborne when he took that. It wasn't held according to the referee, so it goes to Meninga. The crowd thought he was held. Thompson. Into touch. Vic Ty showing the speed of a winger, which he used to be. Phelan. Put by Cherry. 10 metres from halfway. Sully, Lumbey. Cutting out Harry, out to Meninga. There's space to move out there. He's just brushed through one, pushed another away, and away he goes, but Chrissy Holmes is there. The pass infield is knocked down by Spencer.
Malcolm Meninga developing the habit of that one-handed pass around the corner when they come off. Terrific. But there's two today that haven't come off. Now Meninga must look to the case of getting two hands on the ball when he's about to pass so that he can direct the pass more accurately.
Good pass from Beetson. Holmes into touch, and Meninga really fired up. His backs. No doubt Mal Meninga thinking about Tuesday night. He wants to be there in the maroon again, as he was last year.
Also might be giving Bobby McCarthy the message that he enjoys playing in the centres a little bit more than the second row.
And a bit of a skirmish there in the front row.
And Billy Johnson lifting the finger and saying one more of those, and that'll be the last round.
So Meninga taking Souths back into the scoring zone again. That's the quarter line on the left. Higgs. 13 stone of Daryl Higgs against 16.5 of Steve Bullow and about 14 of Tony Obst. That's the other Higgs, Adrian. Johnston. Sally. A dummy to Lumbey. It goes to Phelan. Caught by Holmes. And from dummy half, it's Billy Johnston. Back to Phelan. Beetson anticipating well in the tackle.
Beautifully read there by Beetson.
From Lumbey to Higgs. Little chip by Harry. But Bax is there to save the day.
Offside. Souths offside in front of the kicker, Harry, and a relieving penalty from Redcliffe. Gee, we're seeing some good football here. This is one of the better games today because players are reading the play very well. Good work from Bax to get across to cover that kick. Harry's showing good skills with these little chip kicks, and a much more skillful game and a lot more thought going into the play than what we in particular saw last week when it was just one out all day, and that's why we didn't see a great deal of attacking play.
And I believe there's a lot more football in this game yet. 8 minutes gone in the second half, and both sides really equal at the moment. Not only on the scoreboard with Souths are leading 6-5, but this smaller Souths pack giving nothing to their bigger Redcliffe counterparts. Beetson. And there's an example. Arduous tackling Beetson, making the ball come out of his hands and forcing the scrum. Let's have a look at this scrum. Look at the size of those Redcliffe prop forwards against the two Higgs boys who are 13-2 and 13-7 respectively, and they've won the ball. Out to Harry. Well passed but knocked on by Thompson.
Souths got a little bit panicky there because there was an overlap developing with some good little play around the base of the scrum there from Sully to break away on that right-hand side. Caught Oliphant napping slightly, but then couldn't make the most of it.
Penalty.
Premature striking from the front rower, and the front rower, just as the hooker must do, he must keep his outside foot firmly on the ground, and his inside foot for that matter. But normally the loose head front rower will attempt to strike at the same time the hooker does to try and rake the ball back, and we find there that Higgs has lifted his foot prior to the ball being fed to the scrum.
Malone's kicking quite valuable in this Redcliffe side, adds a little bit of variety. Bullow. He's 10 metres inside South's half now. Beetson. He's beaten Higgs. The pass is jolted out of his hands, straight to the hands of Phelan. Daryl Higgs. That's that bulldog determination that marked the play of Ray Higgs, their older brother. Sully, Harry, Meninga, all taken by Spencer. Caught by Steve Buller. 8 metres from halfway. Billy Argyris. You're not going to get through there, Bill. Reardon flashing across from the blind side, but it goes on the open side to Astill. Fends away a couple. There's Reardon. That's his reward for backing up. Billy Johnstone got a hand to that. Oliphant's picked it up. And it's play on. Cherry. Tackled by Harry. It's Benson. Halfway line. Abbott. Obst. There's some space there for Tony Obst, but he can't get through. Good defence from Adrian Higgs. Beetson. Obst. He's lost the ball. No, he hasn't. It was Phelan who was fighting for it. Oliphant. Ty. Malone. Well tackled.
Oh, a try saver almost as well, because Redcliffe had 4 players on the outside there. Meninga came in and just crunched him and stopped the play right in its tracks.
It's having a big one, Mal Meninga.
Yeah, playing very well, showing all his strength. Let's hope he can repeat the dose on Tuesday night.
South's ball. Argyris. Now Harry was in front of him. He couldn't pass that ball. Sully. Lumbey. Dummy to Meninga. He's well and truly wrapped up by Steve Cherry. 12 minutes gone. Second half. Souths lead 6-5. Meninga. That's how strong he is. Takes 3 big fellows to pull him down. He's about 8 metres from halfway. Johnstone. Oh, straight under Arthur Beetson. He's still got the pass away. That's Daryl Higgs.
Billy Johnston's run well from dummy half today and usually made ground when he's done so. Great attacking position for Souths with the back line lined well back.
Phelan. Straightening the attack, but he had plenty of men outside. He's a little bit slow with his hands sometimes. 1 tackle to go. Harry. Cutting out Lumbey. Argyris. The pass to Thompson. He's tippy-toeing along the sideline, and he's caught by Close.
Well, the ball eventually got out here into the back line for Souths. If it had have been able to get out earlier, I think they had Redcliffe in a lot of trouble.
That's the Souths front row. You've got the 2 Higgs boys flanking Billy Johnstone. Adrian, the taller of the 2, is the open side prop, and there's a penalty against Greg Oliphant for an incorrect feed. Differential penalty.
Souths have won the only 3 scrums in the second half, so Oliphant forced to do something. Redcliffe under pressure with the possession that Souths are enjoying so far in the first 15 minutes of the second half.
So what can Souths put on here? They've got a 1-point lead at the moment. 6-5. We might see a set move. Yes, there's 3 or 4 players running in towards Billy Johnstone. The tap, and it goes to Phelan, who's picked it up straight off the ground. Getting a facial massage from Steve Bax for his trouble. Now Billy Johnstone at the dummy half. Sully on the right. Goes to Sully. To Argyris. Sully again. Malone pulls him down. There's plenty of Souths attack on the right. It has to go there. That's Harry. Cuts out Meninga. Spencer. Crunched by Chris Close. Rebounding onto Cherry. 10 metres out. Johnstone. Meninga. Meninga in close meet. Thompson.
Yes, obstruction. Thompson ducking around behind these opposing winger. Actually, I think it was both wingers out there. Reardon and Thompson on the same wing, and he hid behind him for a little while, and Redcliffe gained the penalty, and good work from Bobby Abbott, who's also been elusive with his little bobbing runs up the centre of the field.
Big tie. So that's a dangerous moment saved for the Dolphins. Not going to be an easy win, this one. Close. He's dynamite when he gets the ball with a bit of room, but hasn't had that room today. Beetson. Lovely pass. Oliphant. Right. Malone. That could have been a forward pass, but Malone's spreading away. He's got the fullback to beat. He's kicked ahead, and it's too long.
So it only ended up about 3 metres over the dead ball line, so the idea was quite good there by Malone, but really Redcliffe a little bit asleep. A good bust down this right-hand side, and it wasn't as if it came from nothing. There was a couple of nice short passes and very good constructive work, and Beetson, the right winger out here, should have been just sitting right up alongside Ashley Malone, and a try would have been on.
Because, as I said before, Beetson not normally a winger. That's the price you pay. Leis and Beetson both normally centres. Billy Johnstone. How this game's fluctuating. We had Souths almost scoring and then Redcliffe. Phelan. Punishing defence from both sides. Sully. Harry. Oh, and bursting onto the ball is Spencer. That was fairly high, but quite legal. A tackle by Malone. Just short of halfway. Sully. Good pass. Bowled over is Bruce Harry. One tackle left for the Magpies. Johnstone, Meninga. He decides to have a run. He's wrong-footed Oliphant. He's beaten another player straight through the middle. Beaten Beetson. He's found Lumbey. And has he got too much pace? Yes, he's beaten Bax. That's a fine try. But 10 out of 10 to Mal Meninga.
Magnificent Mal Meninga. We're seeing the best of Meninga today. Gee, that was brilliant stuff, because he took the ball and just decided, well, no one's going to stop me. And it was really great work. And this is probably one of the best games we've seen at Lang Park for a long time, because all the crowd is getting excited. You can see it was the 6th tackle. There goes Eddie Ward back to get Redcliffe back to 5 metres. Redcliffe are going back, and that's probably why Meninga's got that little bit of room to move. And once you give him room to move, they're in trouble. Oliphant misses him. Straight up the middle then goes Meninga. Tony Obst can't get him, and that's no mean feat to beat Tony Obst. Trevor Beetson was just too small to beat Meninga, and Meninga then had the job to set up Lumbey. He draws backs, and backs was just enough to draw backs, actually. Beautifully done by Meninga, and then Lumbey strides out and gets across for the try, only a couple of metres to the right-hand side of the sticks.
So 9-5 the score, and Meninga has this kick to make it 11 points to 5. Well, I don't mind being proved wrong. I thought Redcliffe were going to really run away with this game after the first 10 or 15 minutes. It looked like they were right on top, Dave.
Yeah, it certainly did. But once again, we see a side with given just a slight opportunity. Their whole game changes, and of course this fella here, such a key player in the side, and he's really been devastating so far in the match.
Mick Waller's coming on, warming up for Redcliffe as Meninga kicks for goal. Yes, 11-5. It's probably an indication that South's playing a little bit better. Abbott. Tie. Oh, that was a determined run, but an equally determined tackle by Phelan. Abbott. Oliphant. Beetson didn't want it. Close does. Beetson. A little bit slow, Artie. And a good tackle from Daryl Higgs. He's been right on to Beetson today. Lumbey.
Particularly in the second half, Souths have contained Beetson well. It's the 3rd time from memory that Beetson has lost possession, attempting to get the ball away.
Lumbey doing it easily. Up to Bax, and he's put down. But gaps galore at the moment in the Dolphin line. Sully. Meninga. Harry. You sense that Mal Meninga's just making breaks at will now. Little chip. Bax and Meninga, pile driving tackle.
Oh, he's playing like a man inspired, Malcolm Meninga. If they were picking an Australian side tonight, he'd have to be a fair chance.
Meninga protesting to the referee as Bax wailed into him in the play the ball. But referee Ward playing on. Tony Obst has just been receiving treatment, coming back on side. Psychologically, South's right on top at the moment, and on the scoreboard leading 11-5. 2 tries to 1, Thompson and Lumbey. And Chris Close, the only try scorer for Redcliffe so far, as Beetson pops it into the hands of Bax. He's lost it, and that's pressure. I think Redcliffe are gone at this stage. I don't know. Beetson, to my mind, is only going half pace, Dave.
Yes, it'll take Beetson to lift his game, and a little bit of Beetson magic as well. A little short pass could be all it takes from Beetson, but they're just not coming off at the moment.
Redcliffe ball, Bax. Sully the tackler. Leis. Oliphant. That's Holmes. And Lumbey the tackler, another player who's really shone in the second half. Oliphant. The dummy out wide. Goes to Cherry. Cherry showing his strength, just shrugging off Bruce Harry. Ty. Beetson. Obst. Holmes. Eight metres from halfway. Oliphant. Cherry. He's got a bit of a gap, but the tenacious tackler holds on. And he's not really held on. It's Cherry bursting away. It was Darryl Higgs who made that first tackle. One to go. Oliphant. The pass was intended for Beetson, and Darryl Higgs has got it from an offside position. But he's had a tireless game, this fella. He's played his heart out.
Quite comical there. Oliphant popping the short pass, obviously not having a good look just to see who was in support. And it was Higgs would have been done a lot better to try and avoid the pass and possibly allow an onside player to come through and take the ball.
Pullo. Redcliffe desperately need a try here. Oliphant. Obst. A determined run. He's found the runner. Oh, that's muffed it. Knocked on by Cherry.
Things just not going Redcliffe's way at the moment. They're getting a few half opportunities, but they're not going on with it. And really, it's probably been the story of the match for Redcliffe so far.
Souths ball. Sully. Arduous.
Yes.
Harry. Good passing. He's got Meninga waiting outside. And what's he do? Come back inside. Now it's going across there. Phelan. That's a typical Phelan run. Look at it. Lumbey. Meninga. Thompson on the left, but Meninga will split them. He'll score. They won't stop him. And that's really the icing on the cake. And how happy is he over that? What a try.
Yes, well, Malcolm Meninga just hit the accelerator then as the Redcliffe defence converged. Really good work here. The first bust was made by Chris Phelan, and he, whilst he's been somewhat quiet today, he really shows his strength here. He refuses to be tackled and then looks for good support. There's Lumbey. Lumbey's backed up well today, and he's been a good link for South. And there's Meninga slicing back on the inside. And have a look at this. He just looks to his left there, knows that Waller's coming in, but he's just got the confidence that his pace is going to get him there, and he does it easily, just like he's been extruded out of that little gap. Shoots out from right in the middle of the Redcliffe defence and across for a great try.
So Mal Meninga's kicked 2 out of 2. He can't put a foot wrong today, and he'd be first man picked, I'd say. That's one of the best tries I've seen at Lang Park this year. Only taking a couple of steps backwards. You wouldn't blame him for missing it, but he hasn't. And that's really put them well in front. They lead by 16-5. Backs restarts. And this crowd really seething with excitement now. They've been set alight by the brilliance of Mal Meninga. Spencer. We haven't seen him play this well since, well, he last played in the centres.
Well, exactly right, Pete. Actually, you probably go back further than that because his form hasn't been as devastating as this so far that I can recall this season. But right from the onset of the match, Meninga went out there with power in his running. He bumped off players and he's had strength in his defence. He's just bodily lifted players off the ground. And if you continue to do that, your confidence grows. And Meninga is just running on confidence at the moment, so supremely confident. And Redcliffe are ruining the opportunities they're giving him.
That's a penalty to Souths. Just recalling the City Country match when Mal Meninga had a brilliant game. I think he was at his peak then, when he was running with such confidence that even though there were tacklers coming across, he knew he could beat them. He'd drop the shoulder and bump them aside and then keep running. And I think he lost that confidence through going into the forwards and becoming a workhorse. And it's great for Queensland Rugby League to see him back at his sensational best in the backs. And the last time he played in the centres was the 21st of June against Norths at Bishop Park. So the score at 16-5, 11 minutes left. And what a win this will be for the Magpies. I don't think too many people tipped them. Replacement coming on for Souths over there. Can you pick it up, Dave? Sally. Lyndon Cullen, the former Northern Territory, and well, he's been everywhere, this fella. Lyndon Cullen. He played 2 weeks ago. Played in Western Australia, in Adelaide, and he played for Norths once a few years ago. That's Waller. Phelan the tackler, and 20. Who went off?
One of the Higgs brothers.
Darryl Higgs.
And the Redcliffe mistakes continue, and as we've said, they've on a number of occasions in this match busted that first line of the Souths defence, but we've seen the ball go astray.
Must be something about those white boots, Dave. I've never seen anyone wear them win a game yet. Sully. Oh, Sully split them. Too much pace for Oliphant. Back's giving chase, but he's got too much speed for him. Chrissy Holmes has got him, though. That's 3 fine cover defending tackles we've seen from Chris Holmes.
Well, great football that, because we saw a great bust from the base of the scrum, and Holmes in perfect lock cover defence, getting across there to take Sully after Sully had made a 50-metre burst. And of course, Sully should take quite a bit of credit for South's performance this afternoon too. He's back into the side after a long layoff, initially through injury and then a spell in reserve grade, and he's come back in, and Souths have looked more organised.
Still 10 minutes to go in this game. You never know. Tie. Big tie. Good stepping run. It's the quarter line. Penalty to Redcliffe. Must allow him to get up and play the ball. And when you think about that bust that Chris Phelan made, it's perhaps worth mentioning that he collapsed at work during the week with a virus. Tony Tester filled him up full of all kinds of wonder drugs, and he's got him back on the field. Below. There's Phelan. He's a tough, hard man. Oliphant. Beetson. Backs. Beetson again. It's like basketball, isn't it?
Redcliffe not being able to move the ball. Once they pop that short pass, the idea is to change the position of attack, and they've been unable to do it because they've been forced back inside continually. Bruce Astill there being penalised for not standing directly in front of the man playing the ball.
Somehow I don't think Arthur Beetson's going to make the State of Origin side. It's just my guess, although I can see reasons for putting him in the side. They'll have a big crowd if he's in the team. Would you? Oh, that kick hasn't found touch. I was going to say, Dave, if you'd have Beetson in your side.
Well, I picked him on Friday night, Peter. On today's game, you wouldn't have him in, but of course, Beetson's a champion player, and he can pull out a game almost at will, and he is a big match player. If Beetson is fit, and I mean without injury, certainly he's not an 80-minute fit player. He's been hasn't played a lot of football in probably the last month or so. I'd still have him in the side.
Well, let's stick with this game for the moment. It's not over yet, as Reardon's showing us. A nice sidestepping run and a beautiful pass inside to Spencer, and he'll go in for his second try in 2 weeks. And that brings the score back to 16-8, the kick to come. At least, 19 points to 5, and the kick to come.
Souths really starting to fire now. Redcliffe are well and truly gone, but Souths playing well. There's Johnstone going for a dummy half, and he's created havoc with the Redcliffe defence. Ardross keeps the ball alive well. There's Sully. That's what I'm talking about, changing the point of attack, and Souths get the ball out wide after making an incision down the middle. Beautiful little pass there to put Reardon away, and Reardon does some good work. Good elusive running. There's Bullo just about to take him, and Reardon pops the pass up perfectly. Spencer in great position to back up along with Thompson and Astill not needed, but great work from Souths.
Meninga, who's yet to miss a kick today, going for his 4th. And this man can do no wrong. 21-5. So a short kick this time by backs. Cullen. And he's having a go now. You can see the enthusiasm and keenness coming back into the South side as they've scored their tries. They've deserved every bit of this win, and it's going to be a win, and a big one too. Phelan. It's Adrian Higgs. His brother Darryl paved the way for victory too, with some tremendous defence, and played himself to a standstill. Ardross, Astill, Meninga. He's got away from close. Still going. Billy Johnstone. Adrian Higgs. Meninga's really relishing this too. Sully, Harry. Reardon on the inside. Booked by Ty. 10 metres inside Redcliffe half. Sully, Harry, cutting out Astill. Meninga's there. And they're onto him now. Chris Close, the tackler. Well, looking at the State of Origin game, Dave, I've written down a few names here. I'll give them my side, and then you can give the viewers your side. I've picked Colin Scott at fullback, John Rebo and Mitch Brennan on the wings, Mal Meninga and Chris Close the centres, Wally Lewis 5/8, Terry Saunders halfback, Norm Carr at lock, Chris Phelan and Paul McCabe in the second row, Paul Kahn as one prop, Rod Morris the tight head prop, Greg Canescu as the hooker, and for me I would have Rod Morris as my captain. Reserve forward I'd have Paul Vaughton, and reserve back Mark Murray.
Peter, I don't vary greatly from your first 13. I'd have Mitch Brennan at fullback in lieu of Colin Scott, and I'd have Scott as one of the reserves. Mitch Brennan playing very well. I'd still maintain Backer on the wing. He is still a good finisher. He always puts in a good performance for Queensland. The forward pack basically the same. However, there's now a toss-up between Beetson and Kahn, I think. I had Kahn in the reserves and Beetson in the side. If the selectors have seen today's game and feel that Beetson isn't capable of the 80 minutes, possibly they may leave him out and leave him just as a non-playing coach. But even Beetson on there for 30 minutes or so in that game could make all the difference, and I'd still plug for Beetson in the side.
Actually, I should put in a word for Rowan Hancock, because we don't see him play down here. He's playing in the Warwick League, and although we don't get to see him, he certainly didn't let Australia down when he played for Australia and New Zealand, and he hasn't let Queensland down, so it's pretty hard for us to pick him. But I believe that Senator McAuliffe has got his spies out watching the performance of Hancock today to see how he goes. Anyway, we'll know that team late this evening. Just for this game, Dave,
yeah.
Who are your best players?
Well, an amazing transformation in the match, really, because Redcliffe started well and they've been unable to sustain the effort.
That's Vic Ty. They're back to Bullo, but they haven't got the pace to finish. Yes, they have. Steve Cherry. But Thompson's got him, but he's reached out. That's a very good try, right under the posts, and referee Ward right on the spot.
Oliphant turns a nice little ball back on the inside here to give the first opening. There it is. Nice work. Straight through goes Vic Ty, and he's stepped well all day. Bullo looms up on the outside nicely, the big front row. And just watch how he positions Cherry on the inside. He's almost telling him to run inside. Cherry in perfect position. Here comes Thompson to catch him. Thompson catches him 9 metres from the line, but Cherry will not stop, and he gets across the line with a good metre to spare.
It's funny, really, because if Astill had been allowed to make the tackle, he probably could have stopped him on his own, as could Thompson. But they got in each other's way. Anyway, that kick makes it now 21 points to 10, and we've still got 2 minutes left. Well, they're very keen to get going again. A quick kick-off by Souths, but you were picking your best players. It always happens as soon as we do this. They score a try.
Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed the game. I think both sides have played it in a good spirit. There's been some good breaks and some good backup, something that we haven't seen often in matches this season, where players have backed up well and look good in doing so. But really, Souths, it's been Souths' day, because they started off quite slowly, and then I think that field goal by Bruce Harry right on half-time changed Souths' attitude, because they came out in the second half, they felt confident. You could see the confidence in their play, and they looked good. And Souths then went on to really destroy any sort of enthusiasm that Redcliffe have had in the game because of their crunching defence. The player of the match, of course, Malcolm Meninga. He spearheaded Souths' victory this afternoon with devastating running and powerhouse tackling, and let's hope he just hasn't left it here this afternoon, that he can reproduce that form on Tuesday night. Bruce Astill was always there and having a good season, Astill. I thought Harry looked good this afternoon. All Souths forwards did their job. They always tackle well.
Bobby Abbott making a good run. He's thrown the ball up, hoping that someone can come and pick it up, but it's going to be ruled knocked on.
I thought Billy Johnson had a good game. He's won scrums, and really he's a couple of sorties from from the dummy half position, I should say, has been very damaging, because he's put Souths on the front foot, and I think there's not enough hookers that do run from dummy half in attack. For Redcliffe, Close faded in the second half, and Redcliffe, actually the whole side in effect, faded. Close after having a good first half. The back rowers for Redcliffe attacked well in the first half.